Okay, so warm welcome to everyone for our session today. Our topic is from obscure to luminous, and this topic is something that the whole subject of darkness and light. And I was thinking that it's not necessarily just a question of darkness, and it's not just necessarily just a question of light, but there's something more there. Because I'm sure, as many people would probably have experienced, that the whole question of when the path is obscure, or there's a lack of clarity in some way, then things feel very difficult. Things feel there's that sense of insecurity, uncertainty. There's a feeling of being lost, wandering around, like a labyrinth. And so actually, I find that this word obscure or obscurity seems to define in a little bit more depth this condition of that is very distressful, this condition of being, in a sense, in the dark. So sometimes we can think about darkness or obscurity as something that I have not yet discovered, something that I don't know, something I'm uncertain about. And so it might be an ability that I have, a capacity. It might be something about the future. It could be something that I don't yet know. So it's like one way of looking at when things are obscure is that I don't know that it's there. So it could be that it could be the solution. It could be the thing that I need, that one thought that's going to make all the difference. So I don't know that it's there. I don't know that I have it. I haven't yet discovered it. Another way of thinking about obscurity is that I know it's there. I know that something is there, but I don't know what it is. I can't see it clearly. So it's not clearly expressed in my mind or not clearly understood. And so I might feel and know that whatever I need is inside, but I can't see it. So I know it's there, but I don't know what it is. And I have no idea how to use it or how to apply it. And I think this could be the case for a lot of people, is that we may know that the answers are there. We know that we have that strength, we have that ability to come through something, but we don't know really, we don't know what exactly, we can't put our finger on it. And then another way of thinking about obscurity is that I know that it's there, but I want to keep it hidden. So it might be that I know what I need to do. I know the truth about something, but I don't have the courage or the strength or the willingness to put that forward yet, to bring that into the light yet, to express that. And so the first one is where I don't even know that it's there. I'm completely, in a sense, uncertain. It's mysterious. Things are vague. It's all concealed and hidden and unclear. And the second is where it's there. So there's something that I've found, but I don't know what it is. And so it's very perplexing, very puzzling. It's all very ambiguous. and I can't understand what's going on. And the third one is where I know that it's there. I know what it is even, but I'm choosing to keep it in the dark. So I'm choosing to hide it, to cover it, to in a sense to eclipse it by maybe some old belief that I have about myself. And so in a sense, this darkness or this obscurity is really, it's something that we stay in or come out of. Basically, it's in our hands, and sometimes we can call it the lack of knowledge, lack of spiritual wisdom, which basically is the light. So knowledge is often called the light of knowledge. And sometimes when people talk about the third eye, of course, there's no physical eye, third eye, but it's like when my ability to see, and what am I using to see? It's like I might have eyes, but if there is no light, then I can't see anything unless I'm a certain kind of an animal, like a cat or something. But actually, so we need to shine the light of knowledge, of wisdom, of understanding, of a choice, of certain truths about ourselves so that we can actually see. And so I found it quite interesting. In fact, the dictionary is always very useful to look at, to see what does this word obscure mean, and I certainly hadn't thought about it in these three different ways, but it's very interesting. So where something that I'm just completely, something that's hidden from me, and another thing that's incomprehensible to me, and another thing that I am hiding from myself and from the world. And however, each of these three situations can be pretty distressing in their own way. So whether it's where I'm desperately wandering around trying to find that solution, what happens in the mind when there's some difficulty or some obstacle, we might go thrashing around inside, crashing around, trying to find, like if you've lost your keys and you try to find them desperately, but it doesn't really work very well that way, because we're in distress. We're not allowing ourselves to be still and clear, and to allow the thought to come. And I think that's the light, actually, is when I'm able to be still, to be stable, to allow that clarity to come to me rather than me frantically trying to look for it. And so anyway, it's quite distressing. Even that third one, where I know that I have everything that I need, but I'm fearful about something. I'm fearful of actually, in a sense, declaring some strength that I have, some ability that I have, because it feels like too much of a responsibility. It feels too heavy. It feels like I'm going to be held accountable, or I'm going to be judged by the world. So, well, you said that you're, a very calm and peaceful person, and how come you just got angry? So, of course, we might fear that we should be perfect and we have to be absolute. But of course, the reality of our journey is that we come in and out of the light. And there are these moments where we have one or another of those conditions. And so sometimes, of course, also what happens is that other people can see. So we might not be able to see something. It might be unclear, or we might want to hide some speciality, but other people can see it, and other people tell us about it, but we don't want to see it. We're not ready to see it, and we might even get upset with them for pointing it out, because then we need to do something about it. And so these moments of darkness can come either in the form of exactly this uncertainty or some emotional pain or indecision. And the important thing, I think, is to come away from this wandering around in the maze, in the labyrinth, which is like a wandering around without any specific meaning. And it's when we lose the meaning that we begin to lose hope, and our strength diminishes and we become weak. And so then it's very easy to get caught in a vortex of waste thoughts and become filled with anger and frustration and a sense of helplessness. And I think that's very often the condition that many people find themselves in, is this sense of obscurity, where we're waiting for someone to clarify things for us. We're waiting for the government to clarify, the institutions to clarify. We're waiting for the medical world to give us clear, to somehow bring us the light. And of course, the reality is that is just not how it works, because things are more and more complicated and complex. And so in order to not remain in this kind of obscurity, which is very distressing, I think it's worth exploring what it would take for us to come into our light, not to be light. And so I wanted to read to you this very beautiful saying, which I'm sure you're familiar with, by Marianne Williamson, which is often quoted also by Nelson Mandela, I think, and I'm not sure who said it first, but anyway, I think it was Marianne Williamson. So our deepest fear is not that we are inadequate. Our deepest fear is that we are powerful beyond measure. It is our light and not our darkness that most frightens us. We ask ourselves, who am I to be brilliant, gorgeous, talented, fabulous? Actually, who are you not to be? You are a child of God. Your playing small does not serve the world. There is nothing enlightened about shrinking so that other people won't feel insecure about you. We are around you. We are all meant to shine, as children do. We were born to make manifest the glory of God that is within us. It is not just in some of us, it is in everyone. As we let our own light shine, we unconsciously give other people permission to do the same. As we are liberated from our own fear, our presence automatically liberates others. And so this is it's a very beautiful piece, really. And I remember the video clip about which is called Lights of the World, and maybe some of you have seen it, where basically everyone in this world is a light bulb. But most of the light bulbs are either very dim or are completely off. And so at one point, one of these light bulbs manages to connect with the source and become completely illuminated, completely, completely lit up. And the end of that clip, it's something like 5 minutes or something. The end of that clip is that someone who is sitting, another light bulb, because everyone's a light bulb, sitting on the, on the floor of the metro station, basically a beggar, who looks at this, who sees this very bright bulb coming out. And just by looking at that, even that light bulb gets illuminated and becomes luminous. And this is actually basically one of the main meanings, the significance also of the festival of light, Diwali, which happens in October, November, which is one light ignites the other. And so each and every light, no matter how small, each and every lamp or deepak, no matter how small, is significant because it can light another and another and another. And so it becomes a whole garland, a whole rosary of lights. And so that is very, very beautiful. And so the thing is that when we realize that actually we are light, we are beings of light, no matter how obscure and how dark, how frightening the situations around may be, even inside, because sometimes the emotional storms can be very, very frightening inside. And we feel uncertain, we don't know what's going on, we don't know where it's taking us. and that's where the image of the lighthouse comes, where the lighthouse is, to be a lighthouse means that I accept to be sometimes in a very rough and dark condition, because a lighthouse stands alone for a start, and it can be in the middle of, or right at the edge of, a very, very stormy sea. But there it is, stable, bright, luminous, and offering something. And so when one of the things that brings forth the light, in a sense, is when I remember my purpose and my power. And this is what makes it all possible again. And I think that probably, I know from my experiences that these moments of obscurity occur regularly in big or small ways. And it could easily be feeling demoralized. You've made a lot of effort for something and you really put in a lot of energy, and people who are involved in a particular task, maybe they continue to misunderstand, or they continue to go against you, or in some way feel like you're doing the wrong thing. And so it's very easy to, in a sense, allow the self, to allow that sense of obscurity to surround us. And maybe we find ourselves there, but we need to not stay there. That's the thing. Is that if we, in a sense, wallow in the darkness, in the obscurity, and sometimes we can call that self-pity or weight, or feeling like a victim, and they just don't understand me and they're never going to change, and they always criticize, and they're like this and they're like that, or the situation is like this and that, then it means we just knock around in this labyrinth and exhaust ourselves. And so it's really, in a sense, the self-respect is that, well, hold on, okay, so maybe I am surrounded by this obscurity, but who am I? Well, I'm not the darkness. I am light. And so just remembering that sense of purpose somehow helps to bring us to pull us up, so we're not waiting for others to do that for us. And of course, sometimes even just remembering something that someone said to us, at some point in our life, can help us. So I remember sometimes I think about the things, for example, that Dadi Janki said to me, which I remember, and just by thinking about them, just by remembering them, I feel encouraged and I feel uplifted. I feel that sense of light and lightness coming back to me. So probably we all have someone in our lives who has said something encouraging to us at some point in our lives. And it's worth thinking back and remembering that and bringing that up for us. So I was wondering just at this point whether any of you would like to share anything on this subject of this whole thing about obscurity or luminous. What is it that helps us to move from one to the other? What's helped you to bring to stay in your light, to be light? And so anything you'd like to share, and then I have a few more things to read, and then we can have a meditation as well. So yes, so please do go ahead. Anyone would like to share? So I can, read you a little piece actually, and if anyone wants to write or read or speak, then most welcome. In the meanwhile, I will read. So see, I can find it now. Okay, here we are. So light, it's called Light, and it is from this little book called In the Stillness. So I am light. I am a being of light. My nature is of light. My home is of light. I live in light. And in this light, I see the Father who is light, full of light, reflecting light, the bestower of light. I am drawn into this light. I experience it. I become filled, recharged, and power and might flood my being. Nothing of the darkness is left. I am filled, content, full of light. There is nothing but light. I and the Father are one. I have merged, become light, and am spreading light all around. And yes, here's the other one. So this one is called The Candle. In the center of a dark room, in front of you, a candle, unlit, encircled by darkness. Lighting the candle, a flicker, A faint glow spreads and warms you. It is the light of hope. You are held and slowly drawn to its center, and all becomes still. Gradually, the flame increases, and the light begins to surround you. It is the light of love, whose illumination moves deep within you, bringing joy and healing. The candle flame, now growing, begins to fill the room. It is the light of peace, and all around is quiet, calm, and the candlelight again increases and grows and moves beyond the room, spreading light, love, and peace. And those who are caught in the darkness of their sorrows and fears, for it is the light of mercy, the light of compassion, ever expanding, evolving, bringing healing and harmony to the surrounding earth. And so that is some thoughts from this book. And I see, so here we go. So Dominique says, in the moments of obscurity, the sun, nature, music, the feeling of God's presence help bringing back the light in me. Yes, in fact. Thank you. And says Luca, first of all, what helps me is to accept the dark. Absolutely. Accept that it is there and to try to understand it and be compassionate towards it. Once I have understood, I try to get out of it. Yes. That's very beautiful, actually. And so, in fact, what I think that's really important, this thing of accepting and finding ways to, to really manage it without resisting it, really. So, yes. So, Anna, did you want to say something?
Yes, I was very touched by the last part of what you read of the first Mariam Williamson, when she says that when we let our own light shine, we give other people permission to do the same.
Yes.
Which means we lose our fear, and once we lose our fear, we are already getting, our positive, our light, our internal insecurity has gone. So other people, it's like you liberate yourself, other people can see that you are already positive and luminous.
Yes.
Isn't it?
Yes, in fact.
So it is like contagious, because you transmit as you are, luminous, and the same with other people. When they are luminous, you can feel, and you get that vibration of positivity and of light.
Yes.
Light and lightness. Yeah.
Exactly. And I think also, as Luca was saying, is that really we when we're not in that condition, of course, then it's very important to accept that, first of all, isn't it? Because when we are luminous, then, as Anna says, it's so contagious, it's so beautiful, to see that. But there are moments when we're not, and so I think to not let ourselves get even get stuck in that by thinking, oh, I should be, and it's not happening, and I want it to, and so that kind of a resistance. So yes, so I see, Dominique, yes, that is very beautiful, Luke, and so true. Once we acknowledge it and let it process, it's easier to get out of it. Yeah. Fighting with the dark or unpleasant moments does not work. In fact. Yeah. And this is I want to actually, we'll have a meditation now, and I have a very beautiful picture of a lighthouse. And I want to show that to you right now so that we can look at that and use that in our meditation. There we go. So as you see in this picture, it's actually, the lighthouse is very, is very bright, and what it's showing actually is the danger, is the rocks, and it's surrounded by dark, but that doesn't mean that it's any less. No. And this is the thing, that it is light, and it's doing its job of spreading the light, being light, staying connected with the source, and shining the light on not just the path, but also the danger. And so it's saying, don't go there, because that will just cause more suffering. But this is the way to navigate through that, through the darkness. And so I think that's the key for me, is that it's not the darkness that's the problem. And in a sense, it's our ability to navigate through it, to find our way through. And as we hear all of these sayings, how there's always the light at the end of the tunnel, and so on. And in fact, this is the in a sense the beauty of actually being able to acknowledge what's going on. So sorry, I'm just gonna request. Okay, so if you're ready for a meditation, we can start with that. So I will play some music. Cool. Okay. So I find a comfortable position. I take a deep breath. And I allow the energies of my body to become calm and relaxed. I stabilize myself at the very center of my being, the light in the lighthouse. I remember and I remind myself, my original nature is to be luminous, peaceful, loving, powerful. With the pure intention of being that and sharing that with the world. I take a moment to stabilize myself. In my position as the light. I feel what it's like to be a luminous being. That's not lit up by something outside, but the light is from within and is radiating around. And as my mind settles down in this awareness, I recognize what this light is made of. The qualities and the strengths that I have and that I am at the core of my being. Whether it's determination, courage, tolerance, caring, compassionate, humble, sweetness, contentment, truth, freedom, wisdom, each of these shines out like a powerful beam cutting through the darkness. Bringing hope and courage. And a pathway I don't need to get lost in the darkness or be afraid of it. All I need to do is to be light, be luminous, be myself. And as I stand strong and stable, I know that the deep connection with the Source, the Supreme, is what reminds me of who I am, my true identity. And from this condition of being light, I can sense that whenever there are moments of obscurity, I can come back to my truth. I can be the lighthouse. Close to the stars, close to the elements, and even love the darkness with the light. And so I take another deep breath. And very gently, when I'm ready, I guide my attention to how my body feels, how my mind feels, become aware of my physical surroundings. Thank you. So if there's anything anyone would like to share from the meditation or from any of the subjects we've discussed, please feel free to do so. And if not, we can close here.